The jamsarny YouTube channel is now officially partnered with From The Terraces clothing. From The Terraces are a company that I have been using for many years now. You will more than likely have seen me wearing their products on videos over the years. And now we are officially partnered, and of course they are absolutely excellent. If you have a look at all the things they do have to offer, be it t-shirts, polos, jackets, shorts, headwear and much more. They have absolutely top quality clobber, and it isn't just limited to Sunderland as well. If you do watch the channel and you do support another side, I know that does happen on this channel, the badge on their arm is actually customizable. As you can see on this t-shirt I have here, it is red and white for Sunderland, but you can alter that as well on their website so it is more personalised to your team. A very unique outlook, and they've got such good quality and I love it. I've been offered the chance to be partnered with many companies over the years, but it's always been something that I care so little for. But I absolutely love this brand and I could not turn down the opportunity to be partnered with From The Terraces. And of course there is going to be a link in the description below for you to pick up your own From The Terraces clobber. Use the discount code jamsarny at checkout to get yourself a cheeky 10% off. You will not regret it. It really is, and I can't say enough, top quality clobber, and I absolutely love it. I've got shorts, t-shirts, jumpers myself, and I will be getting much more, I can guarantee it, and you will be seeing it featuring on the channel in the future. But there you go, enjoy, and we'll get on with the video. Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So in this video we're going to talk about a little bit of transfer news, and I won't lie, it is a bit of a negative on the transfer front, but also we do have the Sunderland-Rotherham match preview as well. So if you are excited, please hit the like button for me and subscribe if you are new to the channel. There's been plenty of new subscribers coming recently, and I generally do keep plenty of updates Sunderland wise and little things, and live streams as well. The live stream went really well against Norwich. Of course the result wasn't so good, but we had such a good laugh and it was a really successful live stream. So if you're interested in those kind of things, you don't want to miss a thing, please subscribe. It's massively appreciated. But getting into the update on the transfer news, Eduardo Michu of PSG, central midfielder, really bright young talent. It's all seemed but signed. Everything was pretty much there in line. He's been in Sunderland for a good 2 or 3 days, I believe. You know, he was at the game against Norwich in the stands watching the game. It was pretty much broke during the live stream on Saturday that he was pretty much on the verge of signing. And it was all but done, really close, so close to signing that dotted line. I know that there's fans that had seen him about in Sunderland around the Hilton Hotel, which of course across the road from the Stadium Light, which is where he was presumably staying, and people getting you know, autographs and photos with him and what have you. So everything seemed like that's a done deal, excellent signing. But last minute, it has been reported that PSG did ask for an extra clause last minute. Now, because this has kind of gone a bit, let's put it politely, or a bit bluntly, should I say, it's gone a bit tits up. I feel like because this hasn't gone according to plan, this is just going to give more ammo to those who are angry with the board regarding Alex Neil now, as if to say, oh, this is all the board's fault, this is all shit. Because obviously in the Alex Neil kind of scenario, you've got those who are 100% against Alex Neil, or it's all out against the board. I'm kind of somewhere in between, or at least leaning more towards the pissed off with Alex Neil, but I can also understand the board kind of hatred towards the board, but I am more absolutely in this camp. But I feel like this is going to feed the sort of narrative that the board is shit type thing. But I completely understand why the board have sort of rejected this clause. So apparently the clause was, or at least the original deal was, that Michu would come to us on a season-long loan, and we would have the option to buy for €5 million, maybe at 4 million quid, something like that. But literally last minute, it is reported that PSG wanted an extra clause, and it was a buyback clause. And although it hasn't been specified and 100% officially reported by big reporters or journalists, we've been led to believe that PSG wanted a buyback clause of only about €8-9 million, which is ridiculous because after a string of 9 or 10 good games in the Championship, his sort of 4 or 5 million sort of price tag now anyway, that could end up tripling given his age, you know, and how good he could potentially be. So he could have half a good season with us, or a good season with us. We could sign him, and they'll buy him back for, you know, 3-4 million extra than what we paid anyway. So I completely understand if that is the case why the board would reject it. Apparently it's not completely dead in the water and it's completely gone, but talks are still ongoing, I do believe. But again, I'm with the board on this one. If that is the case, then I'm absolutely with the board. You know, you may as well just, I don't know, it's a shit deal that for us, isn't it? We don't get a good end of anything there. We could end up with a real player, real talent on our hands, and we would always be open to PSG just swiping him away for an absolute, for peanuts really, if he ends up being really good anyway. So that is that with Mishu. That seems it's hit the rocks a little bit, but now we are going to be going on to the preview against Rotherham. Of course, we do take on Rotherham tomorrow night. It's a 7:45 kickoff under the lights at the Stadium of Light. Of course, we're still searching for our first 3 points at the Stadium of Light, and it's not through a lack of trying. Do you know what I mean? We could argue that we should have easily had more points at the Sol. We should. Against Coventry, it's probably about a fair result. QPR, we should have absolutely walked away with the points there, all points. Norwich, we could have been 4-0 up at half-time and we end up coming away with 0 points. But we do have Rotherham in front of us this time. And Rotherham are only one of 2 teams that are currently unbeaten in the league. And, they're a good team. We struggled with them in League One. Teams are struggling with them now in the Championship. They've got a really good, solid unit there. And, if you're talking about target men, like sort of danger men, it's actually their centre-back. Richard Wood at the back for them. They play a similar formation to us. They generally play sort of 3 at the back. They'll have like a sitting midfielder and then a 4 and then a 2. Generally, of course, they've got like Connor Washington up top, who's, has got plenty of experience and a decent little player as well. But yeah, so we kind of play the sort of 3, and then we have the 4 and then the 1-2, whereas they're sort of the 3-1-4-2. So it's slightly reversed and a bit more bodies, or a few more of an extra body defensively in the middle. It works very well for them. But you've got Richard Wood, of course, at the back, 37 years of age, mind you. He is an absolute nightmare to deal with, particularly at set pieces. He scored a couple against Birmingham as of recently. I think he's already got 3 goals to his name in total. But, they're so good at flooding the box and making things an absolute nightmare, particularly with their physicality. And he absolutely is the sort of epitome of physicality is Wood. He's so good at ghosting in the box, bullet headers, and that's what it's all about. And when they flood the box and they get the bodies in there, it's so hard to deal with. And that's something that we've struggled to deal with at times anyway. Yes, it's not like we're absolutely leaking goals all over the shop, but at times we have looked very naive and all over the place at the back. And it's only the fact that we've looked, dangerous going forward, that we've got that outlet that has saved us a little bit at times. So we're going to have to be absolutely there. And I mean, all there at the back. Everyone, all hands on deck to deal with their threats, because we know what their threats are. But going forward, we do look really good. Norwich, again, as I say, we could have easily been 3 or 4-0 up come half-time. Unfortunately, we weren't. We conceded late on. We're tired late on. And I think this is what people are talking about recently in terms of strength and depth with us. As soon as we get to sort of 60th, 70th minute, we're shattered. And then on the bench, there's a glimmer of quality. But once that starting 11 starts to tire, we don't have too much else. You've got Patrick Roberts to come on, get Embleton to come on. But then it's kind of like, now what type thing. We don't really have many more rolls of the dice. You've got Burnett, the young lad who just come. Maybe we might see him maybe make a cameo or something. That's why we need the likes of that Mishu, just someone else who can give us an extra dynamic to come in, because other than starting 11, there's very, 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 very little else for us to go off, and that's why I think we need a striker as well so badly, because Sims and Stewart at the minute, they look absolutely fantastic, look absolutely phenomenal, but once one of them aren't firing, and Sims had a bit of a poor game, I'll have to say, even though we look very threatening. I think Sims were quite poor against Norwich at the weekend in general, but once one of those 2 have an off game, we have no one to replace him at all. Jack Down has just gone off as well to Lincoln on loan, so all the best to him. So we don't really have a striker. And Diaku for me I don't know whether he's still injured, but for me, he's not going to cut it. He didn't in League One. Don't think he will in the Championship. That's something I've repeated a lot now. But yeah, I think that starting 11 we've got is a very, very solid Championship 11. They've proved that they can compete that 11, but as soon as they start to tire, which they will have done from the weekend, once they start to tire or we pick up an injury or 2, that's when we're really going to start seeing holes in the team. But let's have a look at my preferred starting 11 for this game, and it is completely unchanged from the game against Norwich, with Pato in goal, Sirkin, Bart, O'Nien, Clark, Evans, Neal, Gooch, then Pritchard with Sims and Stewart up top. You could argue maybe they need to be changed around because they put a hell of a lot into that game on Saturday. It was a lunchtime kickoff, so they do have a little bit more time to recover, and it is a Wednesday game as well, so it's not the sort of end of the world in terms of they've had the Saturday evening to recover, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday as well. So it's not like they've had only sort of one day in between to get a bit of rest. But it wouldn't surprise me if we did see one change, maybe. But that is definitely what I would go with. People are still telling me in the comments, like, why do I keep wanting O'Nien when you've got Bailey right, you've got Alessi there? But O'Nien is he's giving man of the match performances at the minute, essentially, with the way he's been playing. And yes, ideally, we would like to see a natural centre-back there. But 09 for me is much better of a centre-back or a defender than he is a central midfielder or even an attacking midfielder, which we've seen in the past. So that is the lineup I would go with for the time being. And of course, for my score predictions, and I am going to be bold, if we play on the level we did against Norwich, so I think they're going to be thereabouts, and this is going to be a difficult game against Rotherham, there's no doubt about it, it's going to be a very, very difficult game. But if we do hit that level that we did against Norwich, I'm very, very confident that we will start hitting the back of the net, because like I say, against Norwich, it could have been 3 or 4 come half time. They had one really, really good opportunity where they had, Sargent point blank range essentially, but then 09 got a block away, so they took it away from the post. But other than that, we had some very, very good chances. We hit the woodwork on a good 2 or 3 occasions. Cleared off the line a good couple of times as well. We should have won that game. Hands down, should have won that game against Norwich. It was only that we tied towards the end of the game. I had very little reinforcements, or at least the changes weren't made quick enough, should I say, to give us that bit of a boost, and we conceded. So I think if we do play the same way against Rotherham, I think if we have a lot of rub of the green as well, which you can't exactly, you can't train on having the rub of the green. You just need that little bit of luck. But I think we will win this game. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Sunderland win for our first win at home this season. Will Tony Mowbray be in charge for it, though? We shall see. As I'm recording this, there are very, very heavy rumours and heavy speculation that Tony Mowbray has actually already seen and overlooked a training session. Whether that's true, I'm not too sure, but that's where we're leading towards. And by the time I put this up, it could have even been announced before the game that we are going to be signing up Tony Mowbray. Now, Tony Mowbray, I will give my sort of thoughts. I did give it yesterday a little bit in the video. My thoughts. Yes, it wasn't my first choice, and at first it did feel a little bit underwhelming. But now, when you actually look back and you look at, particularly online on social media, how Blackburn fans rate him and stuff, he's very, very good with youngsters. That's what I'm hearing anyway. Very good with youngsters. He does have a good style of play. The main negative I have heard from Blackburn fans is that once he is stuck with a sort of system or formation, he will relentlessly stick with that and be quite stubborn with that, even if it might not necessarily fit the certain game that we're playing, if that makes sense. But other than that, they said, he's a gentleman, a genuine guy, and you couldn't go, too wrong with him. So when you look at it in that sense, I think because sometimes, you want this big... I think we've gone from the heights of Alex Neil, and as much as he has pissed me off, I do hold him in very, very high regard in terms of how good of a manager and a coach he is. So there isn't too many up there that would be able to be on his level for me in my mindset at this time. So anything under that, you think, oh, it's just underwhelming. But now that I've calmed down a bit, Tony Mowbray, we could do a lot worse. So whoever comes in charge, regardless of it be Tony Mowbray or anyone, apart from Joey Barton, they get my welcome and my backing as well. But yeah, so that would be my preview for the game. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Sunderland win and Ross Stewart getting back amongst the goals. So that'll be it, guys. Let me know what you think about the Michu deal that seemingly has hit the rocks. And of course, who would you be playing tomorrow? Would you give a player a rest? Would you do a completely different system or whatever? What would you do? Let me know in the comments down below, and your score predictions as well. But if you've enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe if you are new to the channel. But for now, take care and stay jamming.